you'd lose the stability of the cable, in my opinion. Same thing with the carburetor too. You can look under here and see how I did the carburetor servo and the brake servos. The other modifications I did on here, besides the plates for the servos, were these to hold this bar in. You can get them at Home Depot. I just welded them on there. And I did 3-point because a 2-point, I had it on there before and it just bent like that. I also had a cheaper metal on here, doing it 3 points, and that bent on me too, so I upgraded, changed all these to bigger ones, and upgraded to a stronger piece of metal. I originally wanted to do this RC because I thought it would be neat to do, but I thought it would be neat to do some stunts with it like they do at the stunt shows, like front stoppie, a wheelie. I doubt if I could do any roundabouts with it, you know, but just something cool, you know, if they'd let me go out there and do it, you know. But I got drawn away from it by other things in my life, you know, and like I say, I saw the video the other day and I said, well, you know, at least I'll just show you, you know, how I put this together and what type of effort it takes, you know. I mean, if you got any type of basic engineering skill, you can put a bike like this together, you know. You just have to have a will to do it, you know, and you got to have an idea, you know, and some cash. I mean, basically, besides the cost of the bike, each servo was about $70 a piece. Batteries about another 50. You know, I used all the original cable that came with the bike. I just rerouted it, you know. The shocks I had from my HPI Savage, you know, and then just other little odds and ends on the bike. In the front here, if you notice, on the servos, I have little piece of rubber tubing, like a gas tubing, heavier gauge than what's on the little RC there. This is pretty much duplicates what's on the electric RC that I got there. And that's just to sort of soften the steering. You don't want it to be rigid. You want it to have a little flexibility to it. And you can see how I just took the rod, put it through there, put these 2 stops on there to hold it in place, and just, you know, screwed it to the servo arm. Up here, you notice I also still put a spring here, so it gives just a little bit of recoil, but not too much. Same thing with these. You don't want these so tight that you can't steer it, you know, turn it. You know, you want to have some, you know, light resistance. I think that's about it. I'm not going to really run it today, but what I'm going to do is just turn everything on and just show you that everything's pretty much functional. And I'll start with your basic of turning on your transmitter first, and then turning on the power switch to the battery. Also, one other thing I have on here too is what's called a fail-safe. That's the little blinking light there. That's just in case it gets too far out of range. You know, you really don't need it because, you know, most people aren't going to you don't want the thing to get out of visual range anyways, but I just put it on there just as some type of safety precaution, you know. Here's the front wheel. It moves. Like I say, you don't have to turn it much, just to get that leaning replication, you know, replicating how someone would lean on a normal motorcycle. Got the rear brake here. Got the front brake. I was going to try to turn the tire here for you, but I think I'll turn it a little bit. I just did it too hard. I almost knocked the whole thing over. Stopped it, and they stopped good. That's the most important part of this, is making sure you can stop it. I think that's about it. I think that's about wraps it up. I mean, there is one more thing I'd like to do, and that is most of these pocket RC bikes, and in this case an RC pocket bike, you pretty much hold the tail of the bike and then you let it go and it stays up. It doesn't have a gyro in the back wheel to do that. It's just momentum, and you want the bike as much as you can to be fully geometrical. You want it to be even on each side. You don't want to have too much overbearing weight, or if you do, you just have to manipulate your transmitter a little bit to keep it upright. But one of the things I wanted to do, because I did want to do this little show thing with it, stunning, was to have some type of system that could have, when it's sitting, have something drop down to the ground with maybe some casters with some wheels on it, just to hold it in place while it's sitting there. And then once you start going, the wheels come up. I'm working on that right now. But that's about it. If you have any comments on this, any questions, just, give me an email. I'll put your comments on YouTube. Hopefully I'll have it on soon. This here is the antenna wire that picks up the transmission to the receiver from the transmitter. Your basic pull start right there. And I think that's it. So you guys have a good rest of your day or whatever, and I'll get back with you guys when I have some time here, and I'll take it for a little spin.